everyone, and welcome once again to the Happy Hour Skills Upgrade. I'm your host, John Elvis. Well, yesterday we kickstarted the camp with Zumba, and I must say what a wonderful experience it was, dancing our hearts out to stay fit and healthy. And I'm sure you too all had a good time. Well, today we bring to you our second workshop of the camp as we get set to learn another new skill, and that is cake baking. You heard it right. Yes, it's time that we learn to bake a delicious cake and in turn add some calories. To lead us in the workshop today evening, we have another professional with over 7 years of experience in the field of baking. She's a complete baking addict. Her mantra is, having the passion to do something is what matters the most. Well, she owns a brand called Vakola, which focuses on classic baking with a modern touch. She's also a baking instructor and a cake decorator. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you our baker for today, Alisha Rodrigues. Happy baking!
Hi everybody, welcome to another session of Happy Hour Skill Upgrade. My name is Alisha and I am a parishioner at St. Anthony's Vakola Church. And I own this small little brand called Vakola where I conduct a lot of baking and cake decorating workshops. I also have a food blog called bakelish.com. So if you're looking out for all cake recipes, cupcake recipes, you may find a lot there. Now if you're wondering what does Bakelish stand for, so it's basically bake, which is related to baking, and Alish is a part of my name, Alisha. So Bakelish is the website name. You'll find a lot of recipes there, so go check it out. You'll also get a lot of details about me, about my workshops and much more. Now today I am here to teach you how to make a pineapple cake. So if you're home with your kids, I think this would be the best thing to learn. So I've tried to use basic ingredients that are available in your kitchen. Of course you need to buy some canned pineapple and a little bit of whipping cream because it's like a pineapple birthday cake. So it's definitely fancy but very easy to make. So let's get started with the pineapple birthday cake. Basically, to make a proper birthday cake like the ones you get at your local bakeries like Oven Hot and all these places, you need things like whipping cream, a cake base, that's your sponge cake that you would be making at home, some sugar syrup and lots of pineapple because it's a pineapple cake. So first I am going to show you how to make the sponge cake. Once we make our sponge, we'll then move towards making the whipping cream. So firstly, let's begin with discussing the ingredients for our cake. So I'm going to be sharing with you a very simple recipe. Most of the ingredients are easily available in your kitchen. I'm also trying to keep it egg free because a lot of people are not comfortable with the use of egg nowadays. For this cake, you firstly require yogurt. Yogurt is your regular dahi. So just go to any dairy, buy the yogurt that you get there, or you could even use these Amul packs of yogurt. Whatever is easily available to you, please use that. Then you need some baking soda and baking powder, both of them. So don't say that you don't have baking soda and you'll just use baking powder, or I don't have baking powder, I'll just use baking soda. That's not possible, you need both. Then we need some sugar. So normally I always prefer castor sugar for my baking, but because it's the lockdown, it's not easy for you to go searching for the castor sugar everywhere. So I'd recommend you just take normal granular sugar, powder it in your mixies and then use it. And then you need some cooking oil. When I say cooking oil, your regular oil that you use for cooking in the house. So it could be Gemini, Fortune, any brand, as long as it's normal refined cooking oil. I do not want you to use things like olive oil or groundnut oil. You don't want anything that has flavor. So try to use simple cooking oil that's easily available in your kitchens. And then of course you need some vanilla extract. Now we are going to make a pineapple cake, so I would also recommend adding a little bit of pineapple essence. But if you do not have pineapple essence, you just use regular vanilla essence and you're good to go. And of course, because it's a cake sponge, we need maida. Maida is your regular all-purpose flour. Please do not use wheat flour, that's your atta. You require all-purpose flour, that's your maida that you get at any shop. Using atta or using wheat flour to make like a healthy version is not possible with this cake. It would be a very dense and hard cake, so avoid doing that and just use normal maida because we are looking out for a nice sponge. So those were the ingredients for our cake sponge. Let's get started with making the cake sponge. So firstly I have a little baking dish out here. So this is like a 6-inch baking tray. You can either use 5-inch, 6-inch, whatever is there at your place. Now remember, whenever you make any decorated cake, you need to make sure it comes out very easily from this mold. So for that you need to line this dish with something called parchment paper. So this is parchment paper. I have just cut it roughly. What is parchment paper? It's basically butter paper. So if you do not have parchment paper, all your butter paper covers, like when you buy Amul butter and all, the little cover that the butter is wrapped in, not the yellow cover, the regular white transparent cover, you need to use that to put it for your dish so that your cake comes out easily from this dish. So what I need to do is put some butter to the dish. You're basically greasing it on all sides, and then you put your parchment paper inside. So you just want to press the parchment paper to the butter that you've added and put some for the sides as well. Just stick it up. Some people like to put it for the sides, some people don't. So whatever you're comfortable with, I like to put it for the side and the center. And we're done. Okay, so here I have another bowl. And in this bowl, I'm going to mix the cake batter. First step, put in your yogurt. That's your dahi. Now in the same bowl goes your sugar. And give this a mix. So that's my mixture, that's how it looks. And now we need to add a baking soda and a baking powder to this mixture. That sounds pretty different, right? I mean, normally you add your baking soda and baking powder to your flour mixture. But right now we're not going to do that. Just follow what I'm saying. So that's my baking powder. And here's my baking soda. Just give this a good mix again. Okay, so I have put my baking soda and baking powder into the mixture. Now we need to keep this aside for 5 minutes. What will happen is that the mixture will get frothy and it will be more like a fluffy mixture, And once that happens, after about 4 to 5 minutes, then we can add all our other ingredients. Okay, so can you see the mixture here? It's got a little frothy. Can you see the consistency? That's because of the baking powder and baking soda. It's been 5 minutes and this is how it looks. Now it's time to add the next ingredient. So here goes in my vanilla essence and some refined cooking oil. Regular cooking oil, what you use for cooking. And again, give it a mix. Okay, so this is how the mixture looks. Now the next thing that I am going to do is no compulsion. Only if you have it in the house, you will add it. So here I have some pineapple essence. So I'm just adding a couple of drops. But it is not a compulsion. It's just because I have it, I'm adding it. It gives it a lovely flavor because it's a pineapple cake. But you can also do only vanilla. And give it a mix again. And now since we've added all the ingredients, we need to move to the last ingredient, that is our maida. So it's regular all-purpose flour. You can add all of it together. All you need to do is fold it into the batter. So when I say fold, Popularly, there's a cut and fold method, which is cut and fold. Cut and fold. This is basically trying to tell you that don't be rough with your batter like this. Okay, when I say cut and fold, I'm really not telling you to do only this. What I'm trying to say is don't be rough with the batter like this. Just fold everything else, everything in smoothly. Okay, so I have mixed everything in, but can you see those little lumps? We do not want those little lumps. So I will use my electric beater right now just for 5 seconds. Not more, it's just to break those extra lumps. So 5 seconds. That's it, and we're done. So that's how my mixture looks. You look at it. It's a very creamy mixture and the batter is ready. So this needs to go into a greased baking dish. Like I said, that's a 6-inch tray. Okay, so this is my dish and now goes in the creamy batter. And that's it. You just give it a tap. You want all the extra air bubbles to go away, and this goes into the oven at 180 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes or until an inserted skewer comes out clean. So it's been a while that my cake is out of the oven and this is how it looks. It's really well done. It's really soft. Now one thing I want to tell you about the cake is that I used a beater during the making of this cake. But it is not compulsory that you have a beater at your place. You could even make this with a normal hand whisk. Max to max, if you don't have a hand whisk, you could even use a fork. It really doesn't matter. The cake turns out superb always. It's so easy. And because we had put the parchment paper, you see how easily it even comes out of the dish. This is how it looks. You see that? It's so well done. Now we're going to wait for this cake to cool completely. Yes, it's been about 10 minutes that the cake is out, so it is a little warm, but we need it to be completely at room temperature before we start cutting it into layers. So let's wait for a while and then we begin. Now since we've done making our cake sponge, it's time to discuss a little bit on your whipping cream. The whipping cream is basically the cream that is layered on your cake and inside your cake. Now a lot of people ask me, can I buy regular Amul Tetra Packs, the blue fresh cream, beat it up, put sugar, put vanilla essence, will it become whipping cream? No. So for cream to get beaten and fluffy and like whipped cream, it has a particular fat content which your regular fresh creams do not have. So you need to invest in something called your whipping cream and not fresh cream. Now yes, this is one thing that you can't make at home and you will have to buy ready-made. It's not available everywhere, but if you live in Vakola, I'd recommend you try getting the whipping cream from Nilesh in Kalina. Even Mahesh Dry Fruits in Kalina has this, so you could check out there. I'm not sure if Bhatia has it, but maybe you could check with them as well. And there's another shop called Vijay Stores on the station road. So while you go to Santa Cruz station, maybe you could check out there as well. Now these are 3 outlets where I'm pretty sure you will get the whipping cream. So you just have to go to them and say, I want whipping cream. Nilesh and Mahesh for sure have it because I keep buying it from them often. So now what do you need to do? You get brands. Let me tell you about the brands that you should try. There's one called Tropolite. I've just written the name down. Tropolite is a very popular whipping cream brand, so you could try buying that one. There's another brand called Riches, that's RICHS. You could also try buying that brand. It's again easily available. Now when you buy these creams, they come frozen mostly, and all you need to do is try to bring it to its liquid stage. To do so, if you buy this and it's frozen, just keep it in your fridge down. You never keep your whipping cream outside for a long time. Remember, whipping cream beats up really well, fluffy and light, only when it's super cold. So you don't want it to be frozen like ice, but you want it to be super cold and liquidy. So when you buy this pack, if it's frozen, you need to keep it down in your fridge so that it thaws, comes to a liquid stage, and then you can use it. All you need to do is beat it up using an electric beater. If you do not have an electric beater, just use a whisk. It will take you quite a long time with a regular whisk that you have in your kitchen, and a lot of trouble as well. But if you have an electric beater, nothing like it, it's super easy to do it with that. Now the best part about buying ready-made whipping cream is that you do not have to add anything to it. It comes with the sugar added, it comes with your essence added, everything. All you need to do is make sure it's in its liquid stage, cold, super cold in fact, and just whip it up. But remember one thing, if you're not using whipping cream for a couple of days and you have quite a lot of it left in your pack, please put it back into the freezer and not down in your fridge. Reason behind that, if whipping cream is kept in the fridge down in its liquid stage for a very long time, it spoils. So it's okay to keep it in its liquid stage down for about 2 days but not longer. So what I need you to do is when you buy it and if it's frozen, bring it down to your fridge, let it come to its liquid stage, put it in a bowl, whip it up, and the remaining goes back to the freezer. So let's work with it and I'll show you how to use it and how beautifully it whips up. Okay, so we're back. This is a bowl and this is the whipping cream that I was talking about. You give it a very good shake before you use it. So I like to mix it really well. And after you give it a good mix, you pour the content. Okay, so I've just taken quarter the amount from the bottle, and now the cream is super cold. If it's not cold, it'll not whip up. So better make sure it's nice and cold. Sometimes I even like to take a bowl that is super cold and beat up blades that are really cold. While you do this, you do not want to go in one direction and then change the direction. So when you're moving it in one direction, you're trying to push in air while doing that. But if suddenly you go to the opposite direction, you will break those air molecules. So what happens then is that the cream becomes really rough. So when you put it onto your cake, you can see the roughness of the cream. So to avoid that, just beat it in one direction. Now can you see the cream has started to double in volume and it's getting nice and creamy. So we're getting there, continue beating. Now as you beat this cream up, can you see those little creases that are coming? That's a sign that the whipping cream is quite thick. So you need to pick this up and see if you're getting swirls. If you're getting peaks like these, you need to pick it up and see if you're getting peaks like these. Can you see the peaks are so droopy? You need them to be nice and stiff. You see those creases? They are pretty sharp right now. When you pick this up, you get a nice peak which stands. This is a sign that my whipping cream is ready. Can you see that consistency? So when you pick it up like this, it should be nice and soft. Look at that. This is a sign that the cream is ready and very well beaten. So once this is ready, it's time to now cover the cake. So now since it's a pineapple cake, you definitely require pineapple. Now when I say pineapple pieces, you do not require the pineapple that you get in your markets. Of course you can use fresh pineapple, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. You need to buy something called canned pineapples. So basically they are soaked in sugar syrup, boiled with sugar syrup and then canned. Popularly you get them in brands like Panama, you get Del Monte. So you could check all these at the local shops near you. Bhatia in Vakola definitely has it because I just picked my stock from there. And again, Nilesh and Kalina and Mahesh and all these local stores have it. So you could just check for your pineapple chunks there. They are called as canned pineapple. All you need to do is buy it and chop them and use as required. Okay, so here I have a little bit of sugar syrup. You know what's sugar syrup? It's basically taking sugar and water together, boiling it on the gas till all the sugar has melted, and you're done. All that I have done to make sugar syrup is take half a cup of sugar and half a cup of water. Put them on the gas together till the sugar has melted. That's it, and that is your sugar syrup. Okay, I have not thickened the sugar on the gas, nothing like that, just till your sugar melts and you're done. So it's now time to slice these into layers. Here I have a turntable. If you don't have this, don't worry. You could even do it without using a turntable. You just have to slice your cake. Here I have a knife. If you notice, this doesn't have a serrated edge. It's without any edging. It's just a straight knife. You know, it's like those knives that you get when you have these cycle walas who bring your knives and come on the cycle. It's those kind of knives. So it's just very simple. One hand on top to hold your cake. The other knife goes inside the cake. Now what you need to do is push the knife from one edge and turning your turntable, just give it a little edging. You see what I'm doing? I'm first giving my cake a little edging by turning my turntable. So you slice your cake by going inside a little at a time, trying to go round. So you see what I'm doing? I'm not going in one side. So I'm not taking the knife, dab, 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 and done. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm going round and I'm cutting the sides, then I'm coming to the center, then I'm coming to the center. Okay, I'm not going just like that. When you do this, you tend to go crooked. Okay, so it's always good to go round. And I'm done. So the knife is out. When you just cut, see, the other way of cutting is where people do this. They go like this and they come to this edge. So by the time you reach the edge, you're on an angle without realizing that you've done it. So always try to go round by turning the whole cake like this and you're done. Okay, so that's how the cake comes out. This is one layer. In case you want to use it, use it. In case you don't want to use it for the cake, just eat it. So you want to keep cleaning all the crumbs. Okay, let's cut one more layer. So first you give a mark for the whole cake. Keep going round and giving it a mark. You're not moving the knife at all. Your knife is nice and horizontal. Once you've given the cake a mark, then you keep rotating. You see how I'm doing it? And you're done. So that's one more layer. You see how soft this layer is? With the way I'm lifting it, you can see how soft my cake is. And let's cut one more layer. So here I have my turntable again. On this turntable, I am going to place one layer of the cake and I'm going to be putting my lovely sugar syrup. So what does the sugar syrup do? It basically makes the cake nice and moist. So you don't have a dry cake. So now you know the secret of all the bakeries, what they do to make their cakes nice and soft and you know that juicy kind of texture is because of this. And then I take a nice dollop of cream, the cream that I had beaten, and you put it over the cake. Then you take a spatula. If you don't have a spatula, just use a normal knife. So you just use your knife and you just spread the cream beautifully. See what I'm doing? I'm just spreading the cream all around the cake. And that's it. Remember the tin pineapple that I was telling you about? You just want to sprinkle some all over. So you just sprinkle some pineapple chunks. If you're a pineapple fan, you could add some more. I sometimes even like to add some chocolate chips. Then goes the next layer of cake. Just give it a little press so that all the layers stick to each other. Some more sugar syrup. Then you put some more cream. Okay, so to finally cover your cake, put a big dollop of cream over the top. And you just want to spin it up. So you see how I'm turning the turntable and I'm covering the whole cake. And then you take some cream onto your palette knife and you just put it to the sides. So you're just trying to apply all the cream to the sides of the edges. And once you're done applying the cream, just spin it. So I'm just turning the cake. I'm just trying to make it nice and even. You see how I'm holding the palette knife straight so that the sides are nice and straight. And then what you do is use the same palette knife to bring all the cream inside. You see that? I'm doing it smoothly. I'm just going to the edge and pulling the cream inwards. So you want to give some finishing if required. So here I have a little cake board. Take a palette knife, pick my cake up and just push the board inside. And you just want to remove the palette knife and you're done. You transfer the cake to a board and you just want to wipe all this extra off. And that's how I transferred my cake to a board. And we're done covering a cake with whipping cream. Now it's time to decorate the cake. So to decorate the cake, you need a little nozzle. In case you don't have a nozzle, it's fine. You probably would have a bag like this. This is like a little cone bag. If you do not have this, you can even make it with parchment paper or any normal paper. You make a bag which is in a cone shape. So all you need to do is have a nozzle and put it in the bag. In case you don't have a nozzle, just take a normal bag and make a little hole here. Now all I do is I just push the little nozzle into the bag. Okay, and then you make it like a little pocket. So this is called a nozzle bag and this is called a nozzle. And you just fill this bag with some cream. The same cream that we used to cover our cake. And this is how it's supposed to look. And let's decorate our cake. So here I have my nozzle and it's time to squeeze that. You see that? All I'm doing is I'm removing the pattern from the nozzle. I'm squeezing the nozzle. Squeeze and stop. And all you need to do is push in a little piece of pineapple. So when you put the final piece of pineapple over the cake, and I've got this little happy birthday topper. So I'm just going to put that in the center of my cake, and finally my cake is ready. So that's how you make a simple birthday cake during the lockdown. Now I try to keep it as simple as possible. There is so much more that I could do, like put a lovely border down, use different kinds of nozzles, but I just wanted to keep it simple so that you could do it during the lockdown as well. I hope you enjoyed the session with me, Alisha. Please go and make this cake for your friends and family. If you have kids and all, it would be so much fun to make it with them. Don't forget to share the pictures of the cake with us. I'd love to see how it turns out. All the best, stay happy, stay indoors.